1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's Legends of Wrestle Tommy.
And here we go on Legends, live here at 135 French Street. Tonight's special guest is Mr. George Torres, president of the HLES. They said, I'm going to let them tell you what the HLES stands for. They said he's a heck of a ball player, but he can't hit a curveball. And there's certain other people that are coming for him. So here's George Torres. How you doing, sir?
I am good, Russell. I appreciate you having me on the show. I apologize that we kept missing each other, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm actually honored to be here because, you, Mike Beasley, are people that I looked up to. You know, you guys set a great example while we were on the job, and it's good to see that you're taking it a little further because we need avenues like this where we can speak and let the community know what we're doing. You know, not to believe everything that they hear on the news, but to hear it from us.
Absolutely. Let me tell you. First of all, the check is in the mail. you know, I don't have any cash on me.
Right.
I'm gonna introduce you. That's Craig, the engineer extraordinaire over there. He's the sound man. He does everything over here.
Craig, thanks for making me sound good.
He's gonna he makes us all sound good. He's sipping over in the red cup. We won't talk about that.
That's good. That's good stuff.
So please tell everybody what the HLES stands for.
Well, the HLES stands for the Hispanic Law Enforcement Society of Essex County, a group of fine men back in 1971 got together and formed this special group to combat discrimination within Essex County, North Police, different agencies, and open doors for Hispanics that weren't easily open or available at that time. Guys like Jesse Padilla, Raul Lopez, may he rest in peace, Erica Silva's dad, Heriberto Silva. Moving on forward, people like Hector Cachado and Inez Gonzalez, Gus Medina, our friend Rosa Carter, Louis Rivera, people like that, kept the baton going and passed it along to me. And we're basically all about the community. That's what we do, that's who we are, and that's what we're about.
Wow. Okay, you kind of sound like a politician a little bit. I'm just saying.
I've been accused of that in fact, but
really?
I really am not.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you pick. Do you want to talk to the jokers that accuse you of not being able to hit a curveball?
Yes, we have to address that.
Oh,
because that's a lie.
Oh my goodness.
That's like a citizen filing a false complaint on you. That's not right.
Wow. Okay. So you cleared that up. You can hit off speed pitching and fast pitching.
Yes, sir.
So then the next thing we have to talk about is somebody said that you have a weak forehand, and another group said you had a weak backhand. Now, I told you off air who are the people that addressed this, and if you want to say their names, you can. If not, you can just address them generally.
Well, I will tell you this much. For those haters, they are probably right. I don't have a backhand, but I have a tremendous forehand, which is why I don't need a backhand. And usually their comments come from the L's that they suffer, so I'm going to leave it at that. Because I hold my own.
So we're not talking about tennis. We're talking about racquetball.
We're talking about racquetball. Not to make excuses, but I'm 265 pounds, moving around, chugging along, and I'm beating these guys. So of course they got to make up stuff to make themselves feel better.
You know what? That sounds sort of like a challenge to a couple people.
Listen, I'm ready. I'm available. I'll dust off my racket anytime they want to play. But from what I understand, Mike Beasley's retired, so he can't talk no more.
Ooh. Well, Mike will see this. He will see this, and y'all work that out because I want to be there and commentate during it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So tell me, you've been president. How long have you been president?
I've been president now for 11 years.
Really?
Yes. Yep, I took over in 2011. I had a very contested election versus a very good president in his own right, Tony Gonzalez, Felipe's brother.
Felipe.
You know, I got nothing but fond things to say about Tony. You know, I saw his work firsthand because I was on his executive board for a little bit. Tony was about the members. Tony was about networking. You know, he did the best he could. You know, I just felt that there was more to do, different things to do, and a different way of going about it. So that's why I decided to throw my hat in the ring, and we had a very contested election in 2011, which was pretty fun.
Okay, well, Tony's also a good friend to the room. So
Yes, he is.
So
Tony's a good
So
guy.
let me ask you, have you had any more elections since then?
Yes. Every 2 years, we have an election because the terms are only 2 years. Until recently, where they changed the bylaws and they made the terms 3 years. Because it's a little difficult sometimes to get everything that you want to accomplish done in 2 years. So you know, the executive board at the time thought 3 years was more sufficient. So they changed the bylaws, and with the agreement of the entire membership, we were able to change the bylaws to 3 years, and we've been able to accomplish so much. I'm very proud of the work that myself and my e-board have accomplished in the amount of time that we've been around. I mean, we have a tremendous support system, you know, from the Newark City Council to the mayor, you know, and the community in general. I mean, I'm humbled and I can't complain. I mean, when I say I'm going to do something or I ask them about doing something, I rarely ever get to finish what I'm talking about because they're like, whatever it is, whatever you need, let's get it done. And it's just amazing. I mean, you saw at the cigar event.
Yes.
There was you know, there was a mixture of everybody that we've touched, that have touched us back. You know, the support was there. I mean, you're talking about a cigar event with that many people. You know, that it was crazy. You know, I think I was by 10 o'clock. I was just like, I want to go home.
Yeah, listen. I understand. Let me tell you how nice the cigar event was. I seen, and I'm not naming any names. There were a couple people that I haven't seen in like 10, 15 years. And when I tell you, they had drivers driving them because they were in no condition.
Yeah.
You know,
and I appreciate that. You know, them being responsible like that. You know, we have a short program. You know, we try not to get political or too political. You know, we honor those that deserve to be honored and recognized. For that particular cigar event, we were supporting the NPD softball team, which Pete Malave runs with Dougie Marshall. And,
Pete's another one that can't hit a curveball.
Oh, you know what? I agree. And Dougie, you know, Dougie's my dude. But
excellent second base.
You know,
excellent.
Dougie will defend me on my prowess on the softball field. So I know Dougie wasn't one of them kicking my back in. But they did something, you know, along with Patty Alfieri and Jerry Rodriguez from the North. I mean, when you talk about going through a pandemic and the feeling, you know, the guys and the girls on the job feeling just beat up and neglected and, you know, the whole nine, and they decide to revamp the gym, right? Remember, at that time, everything was closed. So, you know, they took it upon themselves, man. They turned that, you know, you remember the North dusty and dingy. Man, it looks like a LA Fitness room.
Yes.
I mean, not everything was donated to them. You know, between Pete and Patty and Jerry and Dougie and the guys on the softball team, they were coming out of pocket, you know, to buy some of the equipment, and it was coming from the heart, right? Because you're buying that stuff for the guys and girls to come and relieve some stress, you know, and I was like, no, wait a minute, you know, I can't let my peoples do that by themselves. So, you know, I sat down with Pete. I said, Pete, man, you know, do what you got to do, but I'm going to do what I got to do with this cigar event. Whatever it is you guys spend, I got you.
And it was packed.
And it was packed, man, and everybody bought into it, and that's exactly what I said I was doing. And they, you know, we were able to fully reimburse them, and you know, God bless them for having such a beautiful heart to think that way, right?
Right, absolutely.
You know, that you got to see that gym. It looks better than some of the other professional gyms.
I actually was there today. I saw Patty today.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance because I was, you know, I'll tell you about the credit union some other time. It's crazy.
Yeah,
they didn't change ours.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back a real quick second. Your board members, can you name all your board members?
I can.
Give them some love.
I can. I've been I've been hit by retirement, but I
Okay.
can name them all.
Okay.
My vice president and my right hand man is Pete Malave. I'll be honest with you. I think I get a little too much credit for what I do with HLES. He's been right there with me. Vilma Plaza is my second vice president.
Okay.
You know, she does a good job of keeping her ear to the ground and let me know what's going on, you know, within the department and
Right,
the
right.
rumblings in the precincts and stuff like that. Then I have my secretaries, Jessica Mendez and Raquel Ferrer. Rocky just retired.
Oh, she
So,
did?
Yes, so God bless her and congratulations. I have my spiritual advisor, my little angel on my shoulder that that taps there and says, "Don't say that, don't do that." Erica Silva Lopez. I have my treasurer, Jacob Hernandez, who is invaluable, with his guidance and and the way he helps me out. Then I have my trustees, Gabriel Corderio, who's a sheriff officer. I have also Frank Martinez's son, Jose Torres.
Okay.
He's also a sheriff. He's another one of my trustees. And that rounds out my e-board.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
you did good.
yeah, I'm very proud of them, man. They back me up as much as they can. You always have a couple of slackers.
Yeah,
we deal with that.
That's Pete.
Yeah.
I mean, oh,
no,
sorry.
that's not Pete, man. That's not Pete, man. Don't listen, I do a good job of getting Pete mad at me myself.
Okay.
No, but that is not Pete. Let me tell you something. The kid is talented.
Yes.
You see he he's helped me tremendously with HLES, but then he goes off and he starts, the MPD softball team, which is, something else that takes up a tremendous amount of time. And I'm very proud of him. He's done so well with that. He does a lot.
It's his passion. It is his passion. It's another one of his passions.
It's another one of his passions. But, I think what Pete's trying to do is, trying to show these younger guys that you'll be here for a long time. And it's always good to give back.
Yeah, absolutely.
We receive a lot on this job. We complain, but we receive a lot. We make a good living. It opens a lot of doors for us, and it's good to give back. And I think that's what he's bestowing on these kids. I think we try from HLES to send the same message, but that there's no, in my opinion, no better way to bond than by playing sports.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you. Did you guys have instrumental? Were you guys instrumental in? There used to be a softball tournament.
Yes, well, it's funny you say that because I just finished the details. September 11th of this year, we're going to be having our 11th annual Battle of the Badges. We started that the first year I took over, and this year we'll be doing our 11th. I have the flyer ready to put out on Facebook. I just, again, haven't gotten around to it. But we're going to be celebrating or honoring our fallen, especially on September 11th. The world has changed. Things have changed. Not only do we honor, police officers that we've lost in the line of duty, but, we honor those close to us that supported us, right?
Absolutely.
And we honor them too on that day, and it's just a great day. My brother Aníbal Ramos comes out.
Councilman,
Councilman Aníbal Ramos comes out. The Godfather Louis Quintana and Carlos Gonzalez, they come out and they make sure we're doing the right thing because they're all about you got to do it right, got to do it right.
Yes.
It's awesome. We even have Mayor Raz Baraka on the team.
The honorable.
Mayor Raz Baraka now.
Yes.
He's a Met fan, so we don't.
Well, he's a good dude just because of that.
We don't talk to him much because he's a Met fan. But he plays with us. He starts in right field.
Oh, you got him starting.
And listen, man, I would never start a Met fan, but I think that has a lot to do with Pete Malave, who's also a Met fan. So I'm gonna leave that alone because the Yankee fan is on the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So anyway, we're gonna leave that at that.
We'll leave that exactly.
But they all come out and they support us that day, and it's a special day.
Absolutely.
It's you have municipalities coming from all across the state. And we're getting to know them, and they're getting to know us, and it's a special day.
And where's it going to be at?
It's there at the Three Diamonds.
In the Three Diamonds are where? Isn't it in Belleville?
Yeah, three diamonds. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 diamonds. I thought you were trying to throw a curveball at me. See, I hit the curveball. So, so we're having it there, and like I said, we need that field because it has 3 diamonds.
You play simultaneously.
Man, we got like 10 teams coming, so we need to get it going. If not, we used to run it as a 2-day tournament, but it's just too much to do in 2 days. So, we with 10 teams, we're able to do it in 1 day. And it's a shame because we have to turn away teams.
Right.
So, anybody hearing this, once I put up the flyer, please contact us because we're already up to 6 teams.
Okay.
And I only put it out, put the word out last week.
Right, okay.
So, we don't want to turn anybody away, but, anything after 10 teams is just too much.
Right. Now, so let me ask you. So it's going to be a Newark PD team, not individual precincts.
No. We have the mighty MPD team. So any team in the state of New Jersey or any municipality that that wants to put a team together and give it a shot, you can come and try. But we're pretty good. So good luck.
Wait. Let me ask you now, because as I recall, I think the fire department thinks that they're better.
Yeah, there have been a couple of times where they've gotten lucky. They won a couple of games, so now they think they're hot stuff. But remember,
where it all started from.
Where it all started from us. So yeah, we let them play. We let them win a couple of games, but everything goes through NPD, baby. So,
absolutely. Let me tell you how special the event is. A couple years ago was probably my first one I worked. I was umpire, and the only person I ever thought about throwing out the game was Pete, because he's pushing my buttons, and I'm like, you know what? I know you, but I don't like you right now. Say one more thing.
Listen, man, Pete has been thrown out of games all across the state in Puerto Rico.
And that's
Pete,
a special talent.
That's a special talent. Pete knows how to press the buttons. He knows how to get the team motivated. So I personally, I love it when he gets like that because he cracks me up.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Listen, Pete doesn't discriminate. He's even yelled at the mayor. So everybody gets it. So you can't get mad at him at that. But it's a special tournament. Obviously, you're more than invited, and see what we're about. I would love for you to set up something where interview people and ask about the day and what's going on within the community because we need shows like this.
Right. That's what I got you here for. And we'll put the flyers up, and every time I come on, we'll do it, and we'll work something out.
I appreciate you, brother. I really do.
It's all love. Let me go back a little bit. You mentioned Erica Silva.
Yes.
She actually helped me revamp the block watch.
Yes.
So I would send out what I wanted. She would do it, and I go, can we change it? She was excellent. She is excellent on the computer.
Excellent. She I can't even begin to tell you the job she did on HLES. The year we were changing the bylaws, and we had a very contested election that year, and I give her all the credit in the world for keeping me together, because it was one of those things where it was draining.
Right. Yeah.
And at some point I was starting to ask myself why. And she gave me the reason why. And like you said, with stuff like that, she's a master at it. And it all with her, it all comes from the heart.
Oh, absolutely.
So she's very good at that. When she was part of the clergy, she was the one that kept that unit running. And she's very, whenever she gets involved in something, it works.
It's 100%. It's
100%. Yeah, I appreciate it.
A gentleman.
Thank you.
Let's switch gears a little bit. I read somewhere that you actually helped when Hurricane Maria.
Yeah.
What did you guys actually do? Because I know it was a lot of stuff.
Wow, man, I want to kick Pete's ass every day for that, man, because he's the one that gets me going. So, unfortunately that happens, right? Our dear beloved island is devastated. Pete says we got to do something. And we turned the HLES headquarters into a factory. And we just put the word out that we were going to be sending things to Puerto Rico in containers. And before you know it, Major League professional baseball player Hector Santiago and his dad got involved. And Major League baseball players got involved. And they were sending us checks to be able to rent these containers and fill them up and send them over there. And Hector himself...
Which Hector?
Santiago Jr., the pitcher. He now pitches for Seattle. At the time, he was pitching for the Angels.
Isn't he from the area?
He is from the area. He's from North Newark.
And I believe he went to Bloomfield Tech.
I believe he did.
Well, I'm
him
just
and
saying-
his brother, because him and his brother both made it to
Yes,
the MLB.
yes.
But I will tell you this, heck, if you would have been pitching for the Mets at the time, you helped us with these containers, we would have respectively declined.
Oh, I gotta wear my Met stuff up here.
No, but he was a tremendous help, man. He, like I said, he waited for all the containers down there, and he distributed, I mean, everything adequately. I mean, it was funny. A couple of people had come down from Puerto Rico. The old schoolers you see in the North District, and they stopped me, and I'm like, oh man, what did I do? Who did I give a ticket to? And they're like, hey, are you George Torres? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're HLES president. I was like, yeah. He's like, thank you. I'm like, for what? They're like, oh, you sent stuff to Puerto Rico, and we received it, and thank you, and we need it. And they're telling us stories that, 30, 60, 90 months, without power, and, it was crazy. I was like, listen, whatever we can do. But they were a tremendous help.
No help from the federal government, and paper towels didn't help.
Yeah, no, it was a mess. And I also have to give a special shout out to Aníbal and the mayor and Senator Teresa Ruiz. They all got together, and I don't know if, the mayor's a pretty humble guy. I don't know if he even tells anybody this, but he got us an airplane from United Airlines.
Because they're headquartered.
Like one of those cargo planes, and we were able to take 20,000 pounds
Wow.
of stuff, water, just stuff that they needed, to the plane, to the Puerto Rico police. It was funny. We drop it off at the airport. We walk out of the airport, back inside the airport, because we had to get back on the plane and fly back.
Because you had to go through customs. Well, a modified customs. What they had.
No, it was just that's the way they wanted. They didn't want
Okay.
us stepping out onto the island. So,
Okay.
we didn't
Okay.
see what was going on.
Okay.
We dropped everything off.
Okay.
We signed it over to Puerto Rico PD, and then we it's
Get
funny.
back
We
on.
did a circle and we walked right back into the airport. We went through the checks, and then we came back home. But that was all because of them. They met us at the airport that morning. It was a early, like 4 or 5 o'clock flight, and they met us there and sent us off, and it was awesome.
It's
It
called a
was
quick
awesome.
turnaround.
It was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
Hey, let me ask you.
But the plane was comfortable, so there was no complaint. I mean, we were chilling.
I'm sure. Let me ask you. Have you ever played in Puerto Rico as a member of NPD?
Yes.
What was that experience like?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. You have your good times, you have your bad times, but it was awesome. We always compete for the gold medal over there. That's one thing that we take pride in. We take a competitive team over there, and we've battled it out with MPD Fire, who also brings a competitive team. But yes, I have played, and 1 year specifically, we had the honor of winning the gold medal, which was cool.
Excellent.
I think that was the first. Yeah, that was my first year going.
So I want you to do me a favor. When you see the illustrious Councilman at Large Louis Quintana, please ask him what happened when the City of Newark All Stars went over there.
Okay.
And tell him Russell Thomas said,
Right.
This is when Ruben Sierra was playing with the Yankees.
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
They were at the Sands. They gave up our rooms.
Okay.
And we went to a place, I can't think of the name of the hotel. The third floor, I've told this story before. The third floor of the place looked like Zanzibar.
Okay.
The third floor was around back. It was on the ground level. And you know how you have the air conditioners over the doors? It was just an empty space. And some places had the televisions. It had the shell of the television with no TV in it. And that was all due to the Honorable Louis Quintana, because he gave up our rooms to the NPD. This was before I was on the job, and they took our rooms. So we ended up we ended up in a better hotel around the corner on can't think of the name of the street. So we were good. But every once in a while, when Louis says something crazy, I remind him of how he did us, and Louis just looks at me and just starts laughing. He busts out laughing.
I'll tell you what, though, you're right. He's been going to Puerto Rico for a long time. I think he's the one that created the trip. And this last year when we went, we honored Lieutenant Gonzalez, who used to coordinate it over there, and he's hit some hard times health wise, and I think this was typical Louis Q. We honor the guy, and do a nice presentation for him, and we played in a beautiful field. and it was just a spectacular day. And he that's Louis, man. I think there wouldn't be this softball stuff if it wasn't for him.
Did while you were playing, way back when I was playing, we would look off wherever the largest area of park was that was just open. They would have a pig roasting in cases of Budweiser.
Yeah.
Do they still do that?
They didn't do the pig this time, but
Okay.
they came close to it. They fed us like kings. Bacalaitos, hamburgers, chicken shish kebabs. I mean, little Coronas, little buds.
Any coquito?
I didn't see any coquito, but somebody had moonshine, and that was crazy.
Wait a minute, you don't call? Do you guys call it moonshine because you have the thing with the root in it?
Yes, they call. I forget what they call
Okay,
it. I call it moonshine because
but
you could start a car with that piece.
Absolutely, you go blind drinking
They
too much
call
of that
it
stuff.
ron con caña.
I can't remember the name. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I mean, we played many years ago on that, and till this day, we won. But I can't tell you where half our
Yeah,
stuff was at.
no,
It's like moonshine.
It's just too hot.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
Give me a beer and I'm happy.
Okay.
Even though Pete doesn't like it when we drink and play. That's why I'm retired now.
There you go.
I'm on the
There you
bench
go.
cheering
There
them
you-
on.
There you go. And I still owe Pete an injection. I'll figure it out in some
Well,
other way.
listen. While you're doing your show, you can also umpire for us.
Oh, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
maybe have the mic on, but no. There's some things that get said when you miss a curve. Not you personally. When somebody misses a curveball or they take a third call straight, that the mic might pick up, and we don't have somebody work. We don't have Craig, the engineer, over there to work the dump button. So that might be a
Well,
problem.
listen, we'll R-rate it.
There you go. Maybe I'll sit outside and announce the game.
Listen, kids, it's no big deal to curse around kids anymore, right? They hear way worse than we think.
This is true, but we want to because you
We
have
wanna be an
family,
example?
Yeah, we want to be an example.
Okay.
And this is a Hispanic law enforcement defense, so we want to,
I agree.
We'll keep the party into the cigars, and I think one time you guys had jeans and stilettos.
We did. I believe the
Craig is smiling now.
Yeah, no, the jeans and stiletto, I believe, was one of Pete Malabe's inventions to fundraise for the softball team going to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of his inventions, and it was pretty good. People just love to get together and bond and talk and just shoot the shit. so to speak. Fellowship, yeah. So whenever we do stuff like that, they know it's coming from the heart. It's going to be no program, just come chill, drink, eat, and be merry. And I think that's the selling point to our events, I guess.
There you go. Now when we talk about the softball team, and we'll go back to Hispanic law enforcement in a minute, there's just not a male softball team. You also have a female softball.
We have a female softball team. Used to be headed up by executive board member Raquel Ferrer before she retired. She passed it down to Maria Mitty, who's a detective.
Who's an excellent second baseman, by the way.
Yes, no, Maria Mitty. I grew up with her, and I knew her dad, who was an excellent softball player. So she the whole family has to represent her. They had to answer to dad, but no, they're doing their thing. I think their problem right now is numbers. They just don't have enough players yet, but I know she's working on it, and they're right there with us side by side when they can. Whenever we do a community event or whatever, we invite them, and if they can make it, they can make it. But they're still trying to put something together. They have a lot of young talent.
Yes.
Right from previous classes. Right now, one that sticks out is Cynthia Cosme. She gets it, and I think the more she's involved, the better they're going to do. Maria's not going to be doing it alone.
Right. Yeah. She has Cosme has family on the job.
Oh man, there's like 100 Cosmes on the job.
Okay.
Listen, they fill up the stands like no other family. They're a great bunch of people.
Okay.
Their dad is part of the Newark Police clergy. The mom is a sweetheart. And let me tell you, the biggest compliment I guess you could pay them is they raise their kids right. There's a lot of them, but they're all very tight-knit. And it was hilarious. We're in Puerto Rico, and people were commenting that they never seen the stand so full. I was like, that's one family. They're all here to see her play. There's about 100 of them.
Oh, wow.
No, it was hilarious. I look in the stands, and it's our softball team, and then the rest were Cosby's, and it was hilarious. But they're great people. We're lucky to have them on the job, and within the community. They have a brother that owns a business in the North Ward, and he's doing a great job. And it's awesome. It's awesome to have, families like that, having your back.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned the HLES headquarters. Where is it located at?
840 Mount Prospect Avenue. Back in 2013, we were lucky enough to meet the owner, Angel Martinez, and Angel was hesitant at first, right?
I can imagine.
He wasn't sure whether he wanted to rent to a bunch of cops, but again, my little pit bull Erica got a hold of him and convinced him that it was the right thing to do for not only his building, in terms of us meeting our obligations, but the community. And we've been nothing but mainstays there since we've been there. We've done everything from helping victims of fires to, people in need of school supplies. We've given out turkeys. We've given out Christmas gifts right from the headquarters. We've had barbers come in and they give kids in September haircuts before they go to school. Yeah, and we're just there. If the neighborhood needs us or if the area needs us for anything, we're there. And I think they appreciate that. I know I argue with people or I disagree with a lot of people. I know there's this sentiment that cops are not liked, but I just disagree with that. Organizations like the HLES, Bronze Shields, PAPA, the SOA, the FOP, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been more than involved in our community since 1970. And I just think it all depends on who's controlling the narrative, right? And I just don't believe that we're as disliked as people would like you to think. Just myself as an organization, we've given out, since I've been president, we've given out over $100,000 in scholarships to kids in Newark, right? We don't go outside of Newark, kids in Newark, right? The mayor can attest to this because he donates a scholarship every year, and a kid from Newark gets it. Anibal donates a scholarship every year, and a kid from Newark gets it. So they can attest that we are giving back to our own. Bronze Shields can make the same statement, claim, right? They give out, tons of scholarships multiple times a year, and it always goes to kids in the city of Newark, where they're giving out toys every year, where they're giving out turkeys every year, where they're helping problematic areas when they need that little extra, So for people to say, not for nothing, one more example, Mike Beasley and I, before this became a community thing, or the cool thing was to try to paint a picture that cops eat ice cream with kids and all this good stuff. Me and Mike were doing it, and we did it very well. As Shaq would say, if you don't believe us, Google us. Yeah, because that's just not what I believe. And again, like I said, it depends on who's controlling the narrative. If you stick the microphone in the face of the person that's out there all day, that's part of the criminal activity, who's a lookout, who's this, of course they're going to say something. To me, you never stick the microphone in front of the face of the person who works 8 to 4 or 2 jobs or this, that, and the other. And I'll tell you, man, I'm glad when the cops are around because, there's a lot going on in this area or this, that, and the other. We never get that. Right. And don't get me wrong. I know there's things that have happened that deserve its just attention. I'm not, ignorant to that, but I'm just saying overall here in the city of Newark, it's not what we do.
So the perfect segue is there was an incident many years ago in which, as everybody know, well, a lot of people don't know, that you can get transferred at any time for anything. So there's a rumor that went out that you guys were transferred for nonsense, only because you were doing your job. Yes. And what happened with that? Because it actually happened multiple times, but we're just going to condense it into one time because I got more stuff to talk about.
Well, here's I guess what happens sometimes. Sometimes you could run into that particular crew who thinks they have it all figured out. They know how to run the Newark Police Department, or they know how to do this, they know how to do that, and they just didn't understand
the community impact.
The community impact and why Mike and I felt the need to do the job the way it's supposed to be done. And, we made a tremendous impact in their lives like they made a tremendous impact in our lives. And we took pride in being the 2 officers assigned up there. And you know, it's funny. We went from patrolling the Ivy Hill, right, to spreading across to Ivy Street because of my brother Lucius Jones. Lucius said, "Wait a minute, why did those people up there get that? Why can't we get that down here?" So all of a sudden, I was assigned to Ivy Street School, and you know, he's still a dear friend and a huge supporter. But you know, it was weird. You know, we just it just became almost like a game where, you know, it wasn't about us doing the job. Obviously, if we're not doing the job, the community would have been the first one to say we had to go. It was almost about, well, nobody can touch them. You know, the police lingo, nobody can touch them. It had nothing to do with that. You know, we were doing our job. And it just became a game to me. And I just think that, you know, people felt that was, you know, that was the cool thing to do, which, you know, I always used to tell Mike, you know, wow, in the West, you know, this is not cool to do, right? Patrol your area, be dependable, this, that, and the other.
Proactive.
Yeah, but if you're in other parts of the city, it's okay. You know, it's okay to be, you know, untouchable, I guess, so to speak. So, you know, I always used to egg Mike on, you know, because Mike is not hard to poke at when it comes to issues like that. You know, he's got a lot to say. So
let me ask you: is it safe to say that Mike is an honorary member of the LA?
Absolutely. Mike is an honorary member of HLES. He is a special part of my family. My kids to this day call him Uncle Mike. Mike doesn't forget a birthday, Christmas, special occasion. He was the first one at the hospital for both my kids. You know, he's family. You know, I love him to death, and I miss him. You know, he had to retire, but you know, he was always that that voice of reason when I would jump off the deep end and turn into, you know, HLES George. You know, but Mike was cool. Mike
still is cool.
Yes,
still is cool.
Mike always gave me a different perspective.
Counterbalance.
Yeah, he did. Mike always had a way of breaking things down where, you know, there was an age difference between us. You know,
a little bit.
Mike is a lot older.
A little bit.
So, you know, he had seen more. And I think, believe it or not, that was the advantage I had against a lot of my opponents, you know, during these elections or just dealing with people in general. I had the advantage of having so much experience. Well, this is how things used to be done, and this is this and this is that. So when I would, you know, go and say something was unfair, I had facts, and that was, you know, he was very special when it came to that.
He still is. He is. Yes. I talked to him today. I tried to get him to come down. He was like, "You didn't clear with my my press secretary." I said, "Mike, let me tell you. I can talk about this now. We used to have staff meetings, me and Mike, during the day at Applebee's. That's all I'm gonna say. And there was no liquor involved, but we had staff meetings. So when people be looking for us, they must be in a staff meeting. They'd be the only two, all of us there until this day. We still have him. He still has his half a sandwich.
Yes.
His soup.
Yes.
His
yes.
onion soup or whatever it was.
The only guy that at 60 still looks like when he was 18.
Mind you, I didn't realize until he retired his actual age. Because he still looks very good. He still looks very good.
Mike always kept himself in good shape, and you know, Mike is one of our racquetball partners.
I know.
Let me tell you, he taught me how to play. I make no bones about it. He said, "Come on, man, you know, I got a good workout for you." And he was like, "Oh, racquetball," and I was like, "Racquetball." You know, I still play basketball, and baseball, and softball. Racquetball. But you know what? I fell in love.
Then
with
you found out you loved it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, he took no pity in whooping my ass for about a good 6 months until I got the hang of it.
Rumor has it that Mike would circle the area a couple times in his helicopter to come down and play you in racquetball, and then leave by helicopter.
Absolutely.
And
Mike don't play. There are plenty of times Mike would just look at me and he'd be like, he'd look at his watch and then he'd go like this to like this. I got to go home. And I'm like, all right. I never argue with Mike. He'd come down to my house to the kids' birthday parties and he would be there for a half hour. I'm like, Mike, where you going? He'd be like, nope. And I understood. But you know what? That's Mike Beasley, man. He's a man of integrity and a man of his word.
Absolutely. I learned a lot from him. Even when I was teaching him the block watch, I learned how he handled different people. And what's funny was when he left, a lot of people outside of the environment didn't know he left, and they were still asking for him. And they would see me and say, well, I said, you know, Mike retired.
Yes.
And he was like, oh my God, because he looked so young.
Yes.
He looked so young.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And let me tell you something. It's funny when you talk about like community policing and what you see, happening now with all respect to the way they're doing it now. I mean, that's to each their own. You want to talk about a master of community policing, somebody who really got it. That's Mike. I mean, he taught me so much, because I think the difference between the community policing then and now is not only were we involved with the community and we had a great relationship, but we still did our job. We still enforced the law. There were people there that loved us, that fought to get us back, that we had arrested for different reasons, or we had given tickets to. So we still did our job. I think a lot of the nonsense you hear today is when we're doing our job.
Yeah.
Why am I an asshole? Because I gave you a ticket? Because you ate a
red light. Yeah, or a red light.
Or you're mad at me because you got stopped at some point and you had 7 outstanding tickets and you had warrants. I mean, I got to do my job. It's on record, right? So there's a big difference. Back then we were able to get to know the community, to get to know the families, but we were also still able to do our job.
Did we talk about the person that spoke up for you with your not hitting curve and having a weak backhand?
No. I'd like to know who that is.
That person is Miss Burgos, Jules.
Oh, Julie.
Yes.
That's my sister. She was my vice president. She was my right hand person for a very long time. I love Julie. She got involved with HLES with me, and a lot of what we accomplished couldn't have been done without her. She's a very special person in our lives. She's very close to my wife. I'm godson to her, godfather to her beautiful son, and she's just a special person, man. She left some years ago, and we still miss her. She used to bring this certain energy to the board that used to make us crack up. Here we are giggling and cracking up and getting ready for events, and Julie has this look on her face like, we're not ready. But Julie was always, she was the conscience, I guess, of the e-board, and that was a good thing, because some of us sometimes need to be checked.
Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you, in certain, a lot of times what we talk about over here on the Legends show, because it's Legends, here at 135 Prince Street in Studio A, is when I interviewed certain people off the record, they were throwing dirt on your grave, as far as your skills in certain things, and I have yet to tell Pete Malave what they said about him, and that'll be a separate conversation. And Jules was like, oh, Russell, you got to get George. You got to listen, he's going to come on. He's busy. He's good. And she was as far as I know, your biggest supporter.
Yes.
On getting you on here.
Yes.
He said, Russell, just do me a favor. I said, I got you. I'm going to track him down. Let me tell you, Jules was in your corner to get you on here.
Yeah, that's Jules. I mean, that's Happy, as she
Yes.
she would refer to us with love. That's just who she is. She was our biggest supporter on the e-board. She was always the one that would sidebar and say, Happy, we gotta talk. I'm like, yes, Happy. and would always break it down. But we miss her tremendously, man. She was a big loss to the e-board, but she still remains our biggest supporter. When we did the cigar night, she was calling me. Yeah, to be honest with you, the last person I expected to hear from, because you're retired, and I get it. You start getting to. She's like, we're coming, and I'm coming with people Happy. We're coming, and even to the week of, she's like, don't forget about me. We're coming. I haven't been able to get down there, but we're coming. And true to her word, she showed up, and she had a great time. She looked fabulous. Retirement has done her well.
Now I heard about the cigar event from her.
Yeah. She's still, I believe she was posting it and calling people, and sometimes we stick to like the people we know, and that was it, But she'll put it on Facebook, and she doesn't mind texting and all that good stuff. So, we definitely missed that. But
now,
happy retirement.
Yeah, but she didn't leave the area yet, right?
No,
she's still up here. The reason why I asked is because I know we've had a bunch of storms, and rumor has it that her flight was canceled, and they sent a plane down to where she was at in Florida to bring her back up here because the other pilots couldn't navigate through the storm. They want to bring her back up. I'm just telling you what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
If anybody can pull something like that off, is Happy. So I will not deny or confirm.
Okay. Listen. It's wonderful. I know HLES has a lot of stuff going on. You have anything coming up?
Yes, September 11th, we're gonna have the Battle of the Badges. It's a nice day. You know, obviously we honor the fallen, but we also have bouncies for the kids, face painters. We have food, we have beverages, and we try our very best to make it a family orientated day. You know, like I said, we honor the fallen, and we remember those we've lost. You know, we play a softball tournament, and like I said, it's nothing but fun. You know, we have a very short program, you know, and then we go right back to the festivities, and people seem to enjoy it. We're going to have that famous roasting of a pig that we were talking about before. Pete's brother, Benny Malave, has all the tools, so you'll see it. He has the electrical machine where you'll see the pig spinning, and we're also welcoming the Puerto Rico Police Department. They are sending a softball team called Fura, and they will be playing up against MPD, I believe, before we start the tournament.
Let me ask you something. What's the name of the team?
Fura.
Fura.
F.U.R.A. I believe they are the water search and rescue for Puerto Rico.
When we played many years ago, they had a guy called Senor Smoke. He was about 60. It looked like 60. He had white hair. It was gray white hair. He threw probably the hardest pitch from the windup that I had ever seen in softball.
I made the mistake some years back, and I met Mr. Senor Smoke here in Newark, actually, because, again, we were hosting them at the Battle of the Badges, and I decided that I still had it, and I asked Pete to do me a favor because we were comfortably ahead. I said, "Can I get one at bat? You know, just to get off the bench." And Pete says that the ball was in the catcher's mitt for about 5 minutes, and I swung. So that was, you know, that was a bad one. That was one of the lowlights of my little softball career. But you know, yes, they have a revamped team that we saw in Puerto Rico, but they bring it. They are skilled. They warm up with heavy balls.
Yes.
Which I was, you know, one time I was like, oh, just for fun, I'll warm up the pitcher, and he threw the heavy ball at me. I was like, what the hell's he doing? But that's what he warms up with. So there's something different, but you know, we still beat him. So you know, let's not get that twisted. Because I see you looking like, you know, you still got to go through the MPD.
Okay, listen. I can't even. I'm not going down that road. I just know that. When we went, we didn't even go. I wasn't even on the job then. I was also in the city of Newark, and they treated us with so much love. We had a police escort everywhere we went.
Yes, they treat us great when we go over there. I mean, from the dignitaries that go all the way down, they treat us very special. They welcome us with a dinner. They just treat us tremendously. That's why we feel compelled when they come down in September to do the same. And it's awesome. It's a tremendous relationship that we've established with Victor and Lieutenant Gonzalez and a bunch of the guys over there. I mean, we're on each other's Facebooks. We text one another. I mean, we do a tremendous job. And shout out to Detective Maria LeBron, who helps me tremendously over there and over here when they come over. She just has a tremendous relationship with them, and we get a lot of stuff done.
Oh, wonderful. I forgot about Maria.
Yeah.
Well,
you forgot about Maria, you're going to hear it.
Oh, listen. She got to come find me. All right, listen, let me tell you. So and we also know that after this, you'll be starting to get people together for the Christmas giveaways.
Yes,
you
we
guys do that too.
Yes, we do that. We, we follow right along the line. Usually we hook up with Councilman Aníbal Ramos or Councilman Quintana. And, from Halloween on, we're involved. We give out toys we give out candy in October with them. In November, we give out turkeys with them. And during Christmas, we usually either hook up with the mayor or we do something at the headquarters or both. But we make sure that we do not forget about our kids in the community, especially, for some who it becomes a rough time of the year for them.
Yeah. And especially with the pandemic and everything.
It was rough, but you know what? I'm very proud of the HLES during the pandemic. We didn't stop. We participated in food giveaways. We Pete and I even created a T-shirt, along with Councilman Ramos and Quintana.
I didn't get a T-shirt though.
No, it's not this one.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
But you know what? I have them in the truck.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I have two of them.
There you go. That young man over there has to get it.
He
too.
gets one too,
Yes.
even though he hasn't shown that red cup. But that's okay.
Listen, right now it's only water because it's a lot of stuff from here that's actually donating. Well, this garden is expensive. You can't see it under here, so we can't have anything. We can't have anything.
No, but getting back to the pandemic, I mean, we did a great job considering that we were the COVID task force and we were very busy with that. Pete and I found time to not forget the men and women on the police department who worked just as hard as we did throughout the pandemic. And, moving on to that, like I said, we gave out food within the community and, we were still there giving out candy for Halloween, giving out turkeys for Thanksgiving, and giving out toys for Christmas. Even though it was a little different, we couldn't have the kids come to the headquarters years past. We had their parents show up and they would pick the toys, and it was tremendous. I mean, we very proud that we were able to maintain some activity during such a tough time. We're still at the point where, we haven't returned to meetings yet because we just want to make sure that we're out of the woods. I was thinking maybe, starting September, to have
hopefully more people be immunized, get the vaccines and everything.
Yeah, so that's one of the big concerns right now. I mean, you want everybody immunized. You don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. So but what's more important to me is that we're still active as an organization.
And that's wonderful. We're here at 135 Prince Street with Mr. George Torres. Mr. George, I can hit a curveball and a fastball, and I do have a forehand, Torres of the Hispanic Law Enforcement. And let's see. I know that you guys actually work hand in hand with Ron Shields. I actually, I know some of Papa, but I don't know who to contact. So if you could, from the Portuguese, reach out.
Yes, absolutely.
And I like to have somebody and represent because I want to show all of the positivity going on, because people don't understand as much stuff as you guys do behind the scenes, and you very seldom receive accolades. So this is your time. You get your flowers when you're living. Yeah. That's what this is about.
No, it's very important that we have relationships with the Bronze Shields and Papa and the FOP and the SOA because we're all we've got. I had a special relationship with Levi just as I have a special relationship with Idell. Idell's my brother. I'll do whatever I can to help him whenever all he's got to do is call.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Vice versa. And Billy Correa and the Papa organization, they they do a lot within the community, and like you said, we do it without accolades. Jimmy Stewart, in the FOP, and John Crystal and Gary Vickers in the SOA. I mean, we do it under the radar because we're not looking for that. We're looking to make sure that we're doing the right thing and that the community is taken care of.
And it's excellent that you said that, because community policing wasn't without the pictures then, and you guys were taking care of the community in ways just like a teacher would, buying extra supplies and taking care of everything. And people don't really see that until they had the PR campaign.
Yeah.
This was pre-PR campaign out of the goodness of your heart.
We've done it. We've always done it out of the goodness of our heart. We've always done it because it was the right thing to do. We've done it because it was passed down to us by our mentors, by our elders. We're not looking for a pat on the back, I don't think. I think if anything, the police department should use us more.
Absolutely.
They should use us more. Listen, at the end of the day, it's up to them whether they do or they don't, but we will continue to do what we do because that's who we are.
So let me ask you a presidential question. Will you allow Director O'Hara to play on your softball team?
You know what? Me, of course, I would say yes because he's the director. But you know what? I'm lucky. I do not have a say in those personnel moves. Pete Malave and Dougie Marshall run a dictatorship over there.
Oh, my goodness.
So he would have to, like the mayor, show them that he's got a little something, or he could be on the team, but I don't know if he'll get much play.
So you mean to tell me that Pete Malave or Doug Marshall would exclude the NPD police director from being on the team if he so chooses to be on the team?
If he couldn't feel the ground.
Now careful, I don't want you to say nothing too crazy. You don't have to fall for the trap.
Listen. You ask and I'll answer. If he is not if he's not representing, so to speak, he's gonna have a conversation with Pete. So that's
Okay,
I'll leave it at
okay,
that.
okay. I'm gonna let you.
But he could be on the team
because you said, oh my goodness. So no, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna say it. Bad Boys, nothing. I think he's actually in pretty good shape. I don't want to put that pressure on Pete, but this is payback for him questioning my balls and strikes 5 years ago.
Oof.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all good. Listen, we got a few more minutes. Is anybody you want to thank?
You know what? Yeah. I mean, there's a long list of people I want to thank.
You have some time, bro.
First of all, I want to thank all our membership, for always supporting us, always checking us, right? Letting us know the good and the bad of what's going on, trusting us to being able to try to help. I want to thank the community at large. I want to thank the business community at large who support us. I want to thank my people at Ivy Hill. Without them, I wouldn't have learned the true meaning of a relationship with the community.
Who still ask about Starsky and Hutch?
Yes, who do. From Lucius Jones to Clara Rose to my man Houston Stevens, to the Ivy Hill building. There's a reason they asked for us. We did good work up there together. Going back to your original question, they once signed a 4,000 signature petition and went down to City Hall. Yeah, that was one of the times they stood up for us. The mayor, off the record, I guess, not naming names, but the mayor was like, so you're telling me, I keep these two guys up there, I get all these people to support me, how do I know these signatures are real? And, they were able to prove that those signatures were real, man. They really stood up for us. And it's funny, when you talk about community policing or a relationship, I bring my family to their barbecues. I'm invited, my family, we sit there, we break bread, we talk, from community stuff to personal stuff. The people up there really became my family. It's funny, I was working the other night and I was by South Orange and Sanford, and there were still people honking the horn, pulling me over. Even the lookouts on South Orange Avenue say, hey, Torres, what are you doing? You're not coming back up here, are you? So that was pretty cool. But I just want to thank them. Within the city, I like to thank, my brother Aníbal Ramos for always having my back. I mean, believe it or not, the HLES thing started with him. Okay. He, I guess from his perspective, he saw the organization not in a good place. And, he asked, if I can partake in trying to fix it. And, of course, I made him promise he'd support me the whole way, and he did.
Yes.
And it's been a group thing. It's been a team thing. My executive board, from Pete all the way down. Again, I get too much of the credit. They have been there every step of the way, and we wouldn't be where we were, if it wasn't for the collective effort of everybody. I mean, we have a HLES headquarters. We have an HLES community trailer, which we drove all the way down to South Carolina.
Really?
Yes, to go get, which was a tremendous experience. I do now understand that there's still some different stuff going on in some of these different places.
Oh, yes.
But, that's a conversation for later. I saw some stuff, man. I saw my first legit Confederate flag.
Oh, yeah.
And
it was the big one. It wasn't a little. It was the big one.
The place looked like a plantation, man. It was weird. Yes. It had 2 flagpoles, and both of them were Confederate.
And it sat off of the street
and
in the distance.
And what made it eerie was there was no fence.
Yes.
So I was like, don't even make a mistake of parking in front of this place. But it was, we have a community trailer. We have, a tremendous networking system. We have support in the community. We have trust. We have belief. And, I couldn't be any prouder at this stage in my career to be associated with the Hispanic Law Enforcement Society. And again, I thank everybody for just having our backs, so to speak. And I want to thank you, Russ, for real, for having me on the show. This is cool. This is a good thing you're doing, and the community needs stuff like this. You're giving everybody a voice,
Absolutely.
not just a selective few. And I think that's important, because I think a lot of what's going on today in society is people are controlling the narrative and not letting everybody speak, and that's not fair.
Gotta have the positivity, and you bring it. Listen, you've always been a gentleman, And I've never had to ring you up on the third strike.
Nope.
You always made contact and got your head, do what you had to go do.
Quick.
But you never, I never heard you curse me out and say, I think that was outside.
I'm good, man.
So you good. So listen, it's been a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
I want to
Russ.
thank you. You know what would be interesting if we could have, because I don't know Papa, but I'll talk to whoever that is. If I could have you, Levi, and Melly Mel, Grandmaster Melly Mel, Walter Melvin, up in here and hear about some of the stories. We'll do it in a different format.
Absolutely.
And we'll laugh all night. We have the Coquito and the X
absolutely, yeah.
and the corn liquor.
Yeah.
And we'll talk.
No, I reach out to Joe Barros, who's the president
Please.
of Papa, but
Yes.
Billy Carrera and those guys. We should all be here because there's a lot of stories to share, but a lot of good, positive community stuff to share too.
Absolutely. So thank you for coming, my friend.
All right,
We're
my
going to
brother.
talk offline. Here at 135 Prince Street. This is Legends with Russell Thomas. He's Craig, the engineer extraordinaire, over in the corner, drinking out the red cup, but I guess it's water. And my guest tonight was Mr. George. I can hit a curveball, and I have a forehand. Torres, a Hispanic law enforcement agency. And we are out of here. Take me home, bruh.